All right, everyone. So here's a review video trying this out. Um, so hopefully, if you watch it, and a lot of people watch it, then I'll try to keep making them, especially if I get some good feedback. If it doesn't seem like people are utilizing the videos, then um, yeah, then that's fine too, and I won't make them. So all right. So hopefully you get a lot out of this. Hopefully it helps you to prepare for the test and do really well. So this is the review page. Let's see, page. Oh, I think it was at the top. Page. There it is, 315. Okay. So in this cycle, we started at 4.2, section 4.2, and we went uh, at least partway through 4.5. So we'll pick up in 4.5 in the next cycle and continue. So remember, 4.2 is negative exponents. So we dealt with negative exponents. We didn't do 4.3 scientific notation. So then we did addition and subtraction of polynomials. We spent a couple days on that, right? A couple days on negative exponents, a couple days on 4.4 addition and subtraction of polynomials, and then we started multiplication of polynomials. All right. So remember, negative exponents. So if you have a negative exponent, there's two things that you can do with it, right? And really, the idea is if you have a negative exponent, change its position, right? Either change it from numerator to denominator, and that'll make the exponent positive, or change it from denominator to numerator, and that'll make the exponent positive, right? And so you either drop it like it's hot or flip it to the top, right? Is the way that I like to remember that. But remember, Sophia W, you don't have to use that. So that's just, if it helps you, use it. If it doesn't help you, you're welcome to use something else. All right, so let's take a look at some examples. So number 16. So I have a negative exponent here, right? So since this exponential expression starts out on top, I'm going to drop it to the bottom, right? Drop it like a top. So we end up with 1 over 2, and then the exponent becomes positive, okay? So notice I move the whole expression to the bottom, and the exponent becomes positive, right? Now, what do we do with this negative? The negative is not in the parentheses, right? There's no parentheses there, so the negative is kind of on its own, so it just stays out in the front. Okay, so remember, the exponents only affect what they're directly touching. All right, so now I'm going to evaluate this, right? Don't leave exponents with numbers, right? You can always evaluate that. So this will become negative 1 over 16, right? All right, remember that when you have one like number 18 where you have a fraction to a negative exponent, you can flip the fraction over. So this will become 2 over 1 to the positive second power, right? So once you flip the fraction, that makes the exponent turn positive, right? And so basically that just turns into, we don't really need this 1 on the bottom, it's just 2. So 2 squared is 4, right? Okay. Now number 20 here, we have the product rule going on, right? Because we have two like bases. So we can add those exponents and get a to the negative 12th. But remember, um, don't ever leave exponential expressions with negative exponents, right? Whenever you're simplifying, make sure that your exponents end up being positive, right? And whether I say that in the directions or not, that's always something that is implied or expected when you're simplifying exponential expressions. Okay, so make sure that you always have answers that have positive exponents only. Okay, so in this case, to make this exponent positive, I would drop it, and so it becomes 1 over a to the positive 12th. Okay, so notice that the negative exponent doesn't change the sign of the number or the variable, it just changes the position of the variable, right? Okay, number 22. Here we can use the quotient property, right, or the quotient rule, and subtract the exponents. So I would do 10 minus negative 4. So 10 minus negative 4 is the same as 10 plus 4, so it's 14, right? A to the 14th. And that's already positive, so I don't have to I don't have to do anything with that. That's already simplified. Okay. Number 24. Here I'm going to use the power rule and multiply these exponents, right? So I'm going to get x to the negative 15th. And in order to make that exponent positive, we'll drop it. And so it'll become 1 over x to the positive 15th. Okay. All right, 26. Here's one that I think some students had some misconceptions about before. Remember, we're not multiplying 2 by 3. We're multiplying the exponent on the outside 2 by the exponent of the 3, right? And we're multiplying 2 by the exponent of the y, right? So watch out for that. So it's not going to be 3 times 2, it's 3 to the second power, right? And then y to the negative 10th power. All right, so remember that in order to simplify, we want to end up with positive exponents. We want to end up with our numbers simplified, so we have to do something with that. We have to do something with that to make it positive. And then we want to end up with one base, one of each base, and one exponent per base, right? So that's where, like here, we have one base, but we had 2 exponents that affect that y, right? So now we're down to 1 exponent, but we have to make it positive. So I'm going to deal with the 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. And since it has a positive exponent, it's just going to stay on top, right? Now the y, in order to make its exponent positive, I'm going to have to drop it, right? So I'm going to put it underneath the 9, and then the exponent becomes positive, and that's the final answer. All right. Okay, and last, number 28 here. Here, I have a negative exponent, so I could flip this fraction over and make the exponent positive. But since I have negative exponents inside already and there's nothing to simplify inside here, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply that outside exponent times all the inside exponents. And you could do it either way, actually. So it's just kind of a preference thing. And you'll kind of, through time, as you get experience with these, you'll kind of understand some of the nuance or maybe even your style or preference as you go. So I'm going to multiply negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So I get a to the positive 6th. And then I'll get b to the negative 5, or negative third, excuse me. So I'm multiplying negative 3 times the invisible 1 right there. Same with the b, right? B has an invisible 1, so it's going to be b to the negative third. All right, so now the a is good where it's at because it has a positive exponent, but I have some negative exponents there, so I'm going to flip those to the top. So it'll end up being 5 to the positive 3 on top, a to the 6th, b to the positive third, right? People have asked me, do we need to put these in alphabetical order? Not necessarily. Technically, standard form, you want to have them in alphabetical order, but for what we're doing now, I don't mind if you have them out of order. Make sure the numbers in front, the coefficients should be in the first on the left, but in terms of the order of the variables, I'm okay with you having it either way. All right, so 5 cubed is 125, and then a to the 6th b cubed. Okay, so if you wrote 125 b cubed a to the 6th, that would be also full credit. All right, so we know we're done when our numbers are simplified. We have one of each base, right? We only have one a, one b, and we have one exponent for each base. And we have positive exponents, right? And that's true. So all those things are checked off, so that means we're done.